Officers say at least 2 snipers opened fire from rooftops. 3 people have been arrested and a 4th suspect is believed to have killed himself after a standoff with police. Gunfire broke out last night as demonstrators marched through the city.
Oh my God. There's people laying on the ground. I hope they're just hiding.
Somebody's really armed to the teeth.
Well, the shooting happened at a Black Lives Matter rally in Dallas. It was one of several marches being held across the US to protest of the killings of black men by white police officers. Witnesses say they heard as many as 30 or 40 shots.
We heard gunfire, and at first, you didn't really realize what you were hearing. You thought it was something like something popping, and then after you heard rapid fire, and then everybody realized it and just took off running. Everybody just ran their own separate ways, and what we tried to do is try to get the women and the children back that were in the protest away from the gunfire. They were running toward it. We had to get them back in the traffic. We had to back the traffic back. It was a horrifying experience to see all those people running and not knowing where the bullets were coming from.
Tino Miles was at the protest and he spoke to 5 Live Breakfast.
As we were crossing the street, some of the officers were like, "All right, guys, have a good night." Just winding down, just a little small talk. And we got maybe about 40 to 50 yards away from those officers. And then all of a sudden, you just hear a barrage of gunshots, just like pop, 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 pop. I mean, it sounded like a semi-automatic, like a AR-15, M16, MAC-10, or some type of semi-automatic rifle. And as we turn around, you see those same officers that waved us across the street. They just fell to the ground. It was like they were doing, like, if you ever play like football, you ever seen someone do like a grass drill, or when people jump in the pool, do like belly flops. Like, these guys were just hitting the car and then like falling straight to the ground. I was stunned, and my friend had, just like, "Hey, get down," because you could hear the bullets ricocheting off the building. And as we got down, the pops just got louder and louder. These guys were exchanging gunfire back and forth with the police. Like, these guys were not backing down. And then you saw the police on the horses. They're like, "Guys, we need to run. Everybody needs to run. We need to run." And so we began to run, and that's all you can hear as we were running. Just more and more and more shots. And it was just like, oh wow! It was just breathtaking to see like those officers get hit and just fall to the ground like that. And it was just something I'll never forget.
Jason Whitely is a reporter for WFAA TV in Dallas. He's been at the scene throughout the night, and he told me how it unfolded.
The protest in Dallas tonight was like a number of protests that were happening all across the country. People upset about what they have seen in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and in St. Paul, Minnesota. They wanted to go out into the streets of this country and let the public and let police know and let lawmakers know they don't like it. As this protest was happening, and a number of them have happened in the last couple of years with other incidents, Dallas police officers are always there to protect the protesters, to make sure nothing happens, to make sure they get through intersections safely, etc. It appears as this protest was ending, about 9 p.m. local time, people were walking back, shots rang out. No one really knew where it came from, so people scattered everywhere behind cars, behind large mailboxes, trash cans on the streets, etc. We saw a number of police officers pull out their firearms, running towards where they heard the gunshots coming from. Within minutes, we heard one officer was down, and 2 officers were shot. Right now, we understand a total of 11 police officers have been shot. 5 of them have died. The conditions on the remaining 6 are uncertain right now.
And there have been no issues at all in this protest, had there, Jason, until this moment? There was no violence erupting?
There have been no issues at all in this protest or in previous protests in this city. In fact, the city of Dallas and the police department in this city have taken extra strides to make sure they create a relationship of trust with the minority community, African Americans in this town. They would refrain from pulling over people perhaps who had a broken taillight. Not to say they would never do it, but they just wouldn't escalate situations like that. And that's what exacerbates the situation so much. This city has tried to dodge this, and now it looks like it's ground zero with so many police officers shot and so many who died.
How many people were out on the streets, Jason? I'm trying to get an idea of the size of this protest, because it's extraordinary in a way that none of the protesters were hurt. These were targeted attacks. I mean, expertly targeted, as hideous as that sounds.
There were about 200 to 300 people out protesting, which is not an unusual number. This is the one of the largest metropolitan areas, third or fourth largest metropolitan area. 200 or 300 people were outside protesting. We understand at least one woman was shot in the leg. She is going to be okay, but the snipers were specifically targeting police officers, anyone who had a badge, anyone who had a uniform on. The police department says that the snipers got into positions where they could triangulate and catch officers in the crossfire. So if police tried to respond in one direction, they were being shot from the other direction. It was a targeted attack against police in this city.
Yeah, and it seemed like a planned, coordinated attack as well. Do we know, Absolutely. Jason, at this stage, whether those involved in the shootings were shooting because of the deaths of these young black men over a couple of days? Are there other motives behind it, do you believe?
Well, we don't know exactly why. The police department said that one of the individuals was actually walking in the protest march. Now, whether he was a part of the protest, whether he was infiltrating it, who knows? That's something that the investigation will have to bear out in the coming days. And just to point out that the mayor of this city told the city tonight, about midnight or so, a couple of hours ago, if you work in downtown Dallas in the city center, don't come to work tomorrow. A large swath of the downtown skyscrapers will be closed because it's still a crime scene. There are, gunshots, broken windows in a number of areas, but it looks like ground zero was the local community college. It's called El Centro College, and that's where the individual who was the last alleged sniper in the negotiations and the standoff took his own life.
So we know, one has taken his own life. Others are in custody. 3 others are in custody. Is that correct?
We understand at least 3 other people are in custody. What role they played remains uncertain. Of those 3 in custody, 1 is a woman.
And the people of Dallas must just be in incredible shock at the death of these officers.
The people in Dallas are shocked about this. The people in the state of Texas, the people in this country. We understand President Obama, who is in Warsaw, Poland right now, has been briefed on this. He even called the mayor of Dallas tonight to make sure things were okay and to offer any type of federal help as well, too. It's unprecedented in the 26 years I've been in journalism. It's unprecedented in this country where so many police officers were targeted, and not just targeted, that so many were actually shot and 5 died.
That's Jason Whitely there, as I said, a reporter for a television station in Dallas who was there throughout the night in Dallas watching these events unfold. As he said, President Obama is currently in Poland. He's just started a 2-day visit for a NATO summit there. He's going to be talking about the attack imminently, we understand. We're going to bring that to you when we get it here on BBC Radio 5 Live.